Now Gary does not want to be on film, so we're not going to annoy him. Wow, wicked blower up in there. For any of you guys that have never seen the inside of a big baler, that's what I'm not sure of, whether I like that or not. That I like. Get a little bit of feeding here. What we're doing now is you're just going to get a bale started before we start to make anything worthwhile. I'm going to look over Gary's shoulder here. The monitor is there. Very nice place to have it. Even going up the hill a ways. What I usually do when we get into clumps like that is I just raise up the header a little bit and then go back and pick up the snips if I have to.
You should eat it. As long as we can get it under the tractor.
Yeah.
How long a bale do you normally make?
Usually 8.86.
The only thing I didn't do is in my truck I didn't grab my tape measure because I have no idea.
My feet. When we get a bale out on the ground, I'll let you know. I just pace them. If I make 8 paces, it's an 8 foot 6 inch bale.
Right.
So, yeah, that thing's dancing around there.
I'll talk to you later.
Alright, so here's the... We're going to do a review after we're done baling here, but for the most part, that's the monitor. Pretty good sized monitor. Looks to be about 10 inches. I have been assured that this baler is 82% John Deere design. They bought technology from Kuhn and revamped it, and Kuhn is now using some of the things that John Deere came up with in their baler. So far, I am driving at, right now I'm at 6 miles an hour, 6.1 mile an hour. I'm at 57% capacity, which is about half the capacity. I'm running more pressure on this thing with lighter baling twine than I do on the New Holland. Now, I don't know how it compares to the New Holland thus far as bale weight, but I do have a scale at home. Now, I just bumped it up to 12th gear, which is right around 7 miles an hour. Percentage didn't even go up. Of course, the hay is a little bit lighter in this part of the field, but still, all in all, that's a pretty damn big windrow. This is a 7250R tractor that they've brought out to me. Just dropped the bale that's there. I don't understand everything here that's going on, but this tractor's actually being taxed pretty good. It's jumping all the way up. The engine speed is it's doing its thing. But back there, it is just eating. It's just eating hay. So, when I get done with this field, I'm going to go ahead and do a walk around and give you my thoughts on it. Not the salesman, but the guy, the setup guy, Gary, he does not want to be on film, so I'll have to respect that. The pickup is a little bit narrower than the New Holland, but it doesn't seem to be making any difference. I'm I'm covering the wheel tracks here on both sides. I think this tractor's a little narrower than my 8120. Actually, I know it is. But it's full. And what's happening, actually, it's not picking up all the hay because I'm actually running it over with the tires. It's mashing it into the ground. I guess I could set my tines a little bit lower. But all in all, it's not too bad. Actually, I'm rather impressed. So far, I'm rather impressed. And if you see those bales, they actually look a lot nicer than what New Holland Baler makes. Not to knock the New Holland Baler, but this has a longer bale chamber than what New Holland has. So anyway, here we go. This is one thing that none of the John Deere promos showed, was the last bale eject. Ain't the nicest looking material. Anyways, yeah, so far there's just a couple of things that I don't like about the baler but can be changed. One is the tires. Tires are only 550/45 22.5s. The other thing that has nothing to do with the baler, but is, you know, it actually worked, which surprised me. But New Holland had these wings on here, and I ended up cutting them off. But I think if I was to purchase this baler, I would be putting in those little sweep wheels, the little rubber-fingered sweep wheels to bring it in a little closer. This pickup is just a tiny bit narrower, which is actually a plus, not a negative, in my opinion, because if you get into uneven fields, like a groundhog hole or even a center furrow, what you do get is a collision on, like, and I can only compare this to New Holland, is you get a collision with the center of the pickup, which is a bad thing. Didn't have any of those issues here with this baler, so I mean, it seems pretty good to me. Things I do like about the pickup is, look at the clearance that we have. Huge clearance and the swiveling front wheels. There's a lot of things I'd really like to talk about, and one of them is going to be, let me turn my little thing here. He's not moving it, but, oh, he is going to move it. I'm just going to go ahead and swing that up. Oh, he's moving that thing forward. Is this thing here, I was not really thrilled about this pre-charge chamber when I was looking at the promotional literature. And I saw a couple of them online, and it didn't seem to really impress me the way that it worked. But now that I've ran the machine, I actually don't mind it at all. I thought it would be like this flailing bitch in here. I don't know what you want to call it. But what it does is it strokes, short strokes until that pre-charge chamber's full, and then it just wings it up in there. There's a cam clutch on the other side, and it locks that in place and sends it up in there. I thought it was going to be noisy and just awkward, but it isn't. The real beauty of the pickup is it is driven from the rotor. So the gearbox drives the rotor, which has the auger already on it. There's no external augers that run off the pickup like I have all that trouble with in the New Holland. It has that auger system right there. And the pickup is driven from the other side by a dual chain drive. From the other side, seems to be only, instead of a 15-foot chain, it's like a 2.5-foot chain. The main drive, which is 80, this is a 100, but on the other side, which I could show you, I can't show you because I got to take it apart. But it's just a better drive system for the pickup. Really easy to access. The twine boxes open up. You just, from the back here, you can, there's a latch here someplace. I don't even know where it is. But everything seems to be pretty neat and tidy. The knotters are, I'm not even going to climb up on there right now because these guys has got to get going home. But I'm just going to close that up there. Handbrake, so when you pull up to the field and you want to unhook it someplace, you just pull that brake, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah, it seems okay. I'll give a little more in-depth discussion about this thing after they leave. So I figured I'd talk about this John Deere baler a little bit more. Now that I'm away from it. It's gone. They just brought it out for the demonstration, and I gotta say, I'm really impressed. My dad's telling me, he's like, You should just buy that thing now. I'm like, I'm not going to buy it right now. I'm not going to buy it until next year. What he means is just get it, you know, do the deal. This is what you need to buy. Well, actually, the Baler performed a lot better than I expected. I thought it was going to be a little slower than what the New Holland is, even though it has more strokes per minute by 4. I think it's 4 strokes a minute faster. The pickup, instead of having that big stupid chain, that big 15-foot of chain, it's got maybe 2.5 foot of chain that runs just a pickup. There's no stub augers. It's just a rotor with 2 augers auger flighting on that rotor. Now the pickup head is a little bit narrower, but I think that's not a problem. I don't think it's a bad thing. But for the most part, I'm not going to buy it now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spec it out. He's going to price it out. We'll get the light package, blah, blah, blah. I am going to look at the Heston, I think, if I can find one. There's none that seem to be close. But I was really impressed with that John Deere. It did work really good. And a lot of you guys are probably thinking, oh, well, it's brand new. Of course you're impressed with it. You were impressed with the New Holland when it was new. Well, I was, and I still am. I still am impressed with New Holland's ability to bale hay. I can go out here at midnight and pack dew-ridden or frozen, snow-laden mulch hay into a bale, and it'll make a good bale. My problem with the New Holland is actually that pickup. And it's really sad that New Holland can't get that pickup under control, because it's stupid. New Holland could do so much better a job with that pickup than what they've done. And I think they're using a pickup design that is just, instead of completely redesigning their pickup, they just keep adding crap. And they keep, well, I can't say that it's not completely redesigned. It is a completely redesigned pickup, but it still has problems. A lot of problems. They're not doing their R&D very well. Research and development. I am the developer. I mean, the research, you give it to me. Get it out in these fields where I got heavy hay, harsh conditions, and I will make you a baler that's going to work. John Deere's, that pickup has 5 tine bars on it, where New Holland and I think every other one only has 4. Seemed to feed really smooth. I wanted to push it to the point where I was going to blow the clutch out, to trip the clutch on the rotor, which I should have, because the hay that I was running in there, some of it was 30-35% moisture. It was pretty damp. Just ate it like it was dry. This is a rotor model, not a cutter model. There's a difference. And the guy, the guy that I was demonstrating it, he said that this model actually has more capacity than the cutter model because of the way the knives are situated in there. So I think it was a really nice demonstration. I really was pleased. Went into it with a bad attitude. Like, all right, I'm going to try this thing. I'm not going to like it because I really don't like that stuffer system. That stuffer system actually packed a really nice bale, and I'll probably be kicking those bales around a little bit. We're going to take them and put them on a scale. I have a platform scale at the farm, and I'm going to weigh them. I want to see what they weigh. They are a little bit longer than the New Holland. I'm running 8-foot with the New Holland, and this is about 8'6", 8'8" inches. So I might have to dial it back just a little bit. A lot more control on the width of the length of the bale too. Quieter running baler. It doesn't have that ka-clunk, ka-clunk, ka-clunk of the stuffer. It just doesn't do that. It just doesn't. That pre-charged packer finger fork, they pack, and then when it trips, it shoves it up into the bale chamber. I thought that was going to be a problem. There's a locking system on that. Well, it seemed to work. I mean, it really did work, and it was flawless. I didn't hear any bangs or bumps, or it missed one or anything. It just worked. Of course, I baled 46 or 47 bales with it in total, and it didn't take me long at all to do it. And by the time I was done, the computer was very comfortable. It was easy to read and understand. The icons were big enough that you could see them. It was touch screen, you know. It wasn't an over busy monitor like the New Holland has a lot of things on a tiny little screen. Well, John Deere actually has less things on a much larger screen. So it was a lot better, in my opinion. It seemed to be a lot better when you look at it. It was definitely an enjoyable experience, and I'm just waiting on a price to see where it compares. To be honest with you, this one here, the way it was, it had it was not a cutter model, which I'm not going to buy again, because John Deere has the rotor packer and it has the rotor cutter models. Well, I'm just going to get the regular rotor packer one, and that seemed to really eat this stuff. I had no problems with it. The only thing that I would buy a rotor cutter model for would be the heavier chain, if it has a heavier chain. But I'll tell you what, it just ate it. It just ate it. It did a really good job. It had an acid applicator that I don't need, and that's like a $6,000 option that I don't need or want. And the tires on it were too small for me. Personally, I like the big fat balloony tires on the Baler, and all in all, I think that that's what I'll be asking John Deere to do, would be to give me, or to add those big old 645 22.5 tires, or 650 22.5s, whatever the heck they are. I think they're 600s. But anyhow, yeah, it really went well. I'm pleased. Made a nice bale. I'll have to show you that bale. I'll show you that bale actually probably tomorrow. But anyways, thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe.